about 40 carries.
Wow.
When you hold a Catholic team to those few yards rushing, that's pretty doggone impressive. So that, to me, that was a big thing. Now, don't get me wrong, this Catholic team is the best passing Catholic team I've seen. Their quarterback's really good. But, you know, their bread and butter's that ground game, and Chris did a good job of slowing that down. And I got to give a shout-out to Turner McSwain, the Charger quarterback. I think he went for about 200. He was our overall player of the game. Went for, I believe, 236 yards passing on the night, 15 of 18, I believe it was. He threw for a touchdown. And then that last drive, it was on his back. He completed a great pass to Jahari Mosley that kept the drive alive, and then he faked on a quarterback keeper, picked up a first down in the final drive for Crest, and then went in from the 1-yard line for that last score. So, again, you've seen a lot of guys understand their roles. And I tell you what, I give Catholic credit. They did a great job of slowing down Aiden Carson, who, you know, is the big horse for the Chargers, and really took Michael Edwards away, too. Michael, so far in the season, his yards after the catch have been really impressive. There were 2 or 3 guys in white jerseys waiting on Michael when he caught the football. So they effectively took those guys away, but Chris did a great job of finding other guys to fill that void.
Well, how was Michael's injury there towards the end of the game, Robbie?
He was able to go. He was able to go back in. I think some guys. I think both teams were dinged up after this one because it was a very physical football game. But I don't believe there's anybody that's out for, you know, a bad injury. But you could tell, you know, once you keep those guys are going to hit, and they were hitting each other tonight. And I think that's what you saw. They're just guys getting dinged up.
Well, Robbie, you've been around long enough to know when we played Catholic down at Catholic in back-to-back years, the finest football high school game I've ever seen was when Crest took on the Catholic Cougars down there at their stadium. Jim Otto was still coaching at that time, so you knew what it's going to be, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But the Ledbetter kid who played running back for Crest was tremendous. And he was so beat up and everything in that game that in the state championship game that followed the next week, he wasn't really able to perform.
Yeah, you're right, Dennis. I remember that stretch. Remember, they also had to play at Asheville in that stretch, too. And once you got through that gauntlet that you had ran through, once you got into that game against Northern Guilford, you can only reach into that pot so many times and pull something out. And Chris was to the point after that Catholic game, he reached down to try to pull something out, and there just wasn't anything left in the tank. So you're exactly right. You look at the history. I believe this is the 4th time these schools have met. Chris now a 3-1 record against Catholic, pretty good. And I was talking to some guys in the press box after it was over. You look at what's going on. You know, Providence Day was a nationally ranked football team. Catholic gave them all they wanted. Catholic was leading Providence Day in the 4th quarter of their game. And then Weddington was able to beat Providence Day, I think, by 3. Both those teams ranked in the country. And so the common thread there can be Charlotte Catholic. Not to say Crest should be ranked anywhere, but Crest has done a good job of playing some football teams that have seen great talent.
Robbie, next week you got Ashbrook. Tell us a little about your predictions on that one.
Well, you know, a lot of people have said the Green Wave were the dark horse this year in the Big South Conference, and I believe it. You look at their line; they returned a lot of guys up front from last year's team, so they're big up front. I believe they got a kid. I think maybe going to NC State. I think, but they're big up front. This is probably the best Ashbrook team they've had in a while. But we've seen it before with the Green Wave. They look great getting off the bus, but they've never put it all together. Could this be the year it's put together for them? I mean, they just took East Gaston to the woodshed 50-7 yesterday, and I think this is going to be a challenge for Crest. And again, for Crest coming out of Burns, Shelby, and Charlotte Catholic, we talk about going into that pail, Dennis. They got to reach down into that pail and try to pull something out against a very good Ashbrook team.
Well, the thing about Ashbrook, Robbie, if you go back through the years, even when Ashbrook had a poor record, when it came to the Crest game, it was always close because for some reason or the other, they got fired up about the Crest Chargers. Something about that green incited those boys to play much harder.
You're exactly right, Dennis. It is, like you said, years where you wouldn't think it would be close. It's been close. So I'm interested to see what Crest can do. And I tell you again, we talk about Greg Lloyd being back home at Crest. What a great job he's done as head coach. But I want to call another guy, Frank Toms, who's also come on from Crest, was defense coordinator last year at Forest Hills. He's back home at Crest this year. He is doing a phenomenal job with his Crest defense. And he talks about going into this game, they were going to run a front four against Catholic's running game, something that Burns did some things in their game they had not seen before. And so they tried to put that four-man front end in during the game, and some of the guys, struggled with where they were supposed to be, but you could see now the difference tonight. Those guys understood what those roles were in those positions.
Robbie, I appreciate your being back with us. We love the call tonight. Glad you came out on top tonight. Look forward to hearing from you next week with that Ashbrook game. You will be calling all the Crest games from now on, Robbie. We appreciate you. Welcome back.
Yeah, it'll be me and Paul Foster all the way, home and away, so we'll have the Chargers for you. And, yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, guys, tickled to be back. Glad I was able to call tonight, and we look forward to seeing the Chargers in the Green Wave next week.
Yeah, to this Steve, too, Paul, Rob, yeah, that'd be a good game because I remember a couple of years ago, I think Brandon Spike's senior year, they went into the game and Ashbrook beat them 13-12. That was the night that all the Cleveland County teams lost. So
yeah, Black Friday.
Right.
Yep, Black Friday. You exactly. And again, it goes back to what Dennis said.
Right.
Ashbrook plays Crest tough.
So you can't think them lightly, but I believe the Crest Chargers can handle them. Probably had too much team speed for them.
Yeah, good guys out there. So I'll let you go, guys, and I appreciate you talking to me.
All right, Robbie, thank you. Have a good evening, good week.
Hey, Rob, by the
back.
way, congratulations on your win last week.
I think
you go.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. Steve DeGree's in the house. We're going to talk Shelby football and more. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Mark your calendar for the Cleveland County Chamber Wine Cellar event, September 20th at the Banker's House. This fundraiser contributes a portion of the proceeds to scholarships for 2025 graduating seniors from each Cleveland County high school, with a focus in business and entrepreneurship. Enjoy a fabulous venue, raffles, a silent auction, live music, food pairings, and a chance to win an instant wine cellar. That's 100 bottles of wine. The Cleveland Chamber and the event sponsor, Albemarle, invite you to come out and support the Scholarship Fund. September 20th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Banker's House. For ticket information, go to clevelandchamber.org.
There's nothing better than a good round of golf, and there's nowhere better to play than the Riverbend YMCA Golf Course in Shelby. Check out the new rates and come on out and play. Play and ride Monday through Thursday for just $36. Seniors Monday through Thursday for just $30. Play and ride Friday for $42, and play and ride Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays for $50. Book your tee time by calling 704-482-4286. Again, 704-482-4286 for a great round of golf at the Riverbend YMCA Golf Course, 3005 Longwood Drive off College Avenue in Shelby, online at riverbendymca.com.
Finding your perfect floor starts at Floor in America in Kings Mountain. If you can dream it, they can do it at Floor in America. And come see their newly remodeled showroom. Select from up to 8 colors of waterproof LVP now in stock. And now financing is available at Floor in America. And they'll be more than happy to come out to your home offering free measurements. Now who does that? They do at Floor in America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain. Online at FloorInAmericaKingsMountain.com. Like them on Facebook too. Your perfect floor starts at Floor in America, Kings Mountain.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agency and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Visit Maxwell Hamrick Insurance Agency in Bowling Springs, Shelby, and Spindale. Online at mbhamrickins.com. Shop Bridges Hardware in Kings Mountain for great September bargains. Buy Friskers, telescoping, bypass loppers to help you tame those out-of-control limbs. Then Holloway prune limbs in a huge 6 cubic foot green thumb wheelbarrow for only $69.99. Complete the job with a Rubbermaid 32-gallon trash can, now $27.99. And don't forget a box of trash can liners at $5.99. If you've got a painting project on your to-do list, Zinsser's Bullseye 123 Primer will get you started for just $28.99. Shop Bridges Hardware September specials at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets, downtown Kings Mountain.
Atlanta Braves baseball on the Boss, WOHS, Shelby, North Carolina, your beach, oldies, and sports stations.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show with the Ministry of KDC Broadcasting with Kevin, Steve, Will, Dennis, and JP.
Let's see how bad you're about to mess that up.
You didn't do
Yeah.
the ministry breakdown. I like that better.
The Reverend Dennis Davis, the Deacon Will Boykins.
Well, what
the
does that
Usher
make
Steve
Kevin
Degree, Kevin, youth minister,
The youth minister.
and JP,
I
AV
don't know.
coordinator.
But either way,
We don't have the
welcome
bishop.
back to the post-game show brought to you by Full Throttle Powersports. Do we got anybody on the phone right now?
No, he keeps hanging up, so I'll try and get him back on.
Okay. So we're going to have someone on the phone in a little while.
Jeff Jones.
Okay, Coach Jones will be on the phone here in just a little bit. We'll talk this Shelby game. We got Steve here in the house. We're going to go ahead and start with him as we get, well, maybe not. I think we got it. Coach Jones ringing up right there. Nope. So, anyway, Steve, we're going to start here. Olympics start off 7-0 on you guys. A little short touchdown here. Tell us a little bit about what happened on this drive.
Well, actually, we just locked contained. He went outside the number, I think it's number 24. Maybe scored the touchdown. He was a very, very hard runner, and it went up on the 7-0. But you know, they took the ball and drove it 80 yards right down our throats.
This is you guys answering with your own touchdown.
With the quarterback keeper.
So that was a Farmer on that?
Yes, Farmer. Yeah.
From about, well, the snap was about 2 or 3 yards. He ran it for like 9.
So we got in, started up. Then, of course, a cornerback lost containment on his other touchdown pass. He actually caught him, and the guy made a great catch and
That's blazing.
and took it to the house. Calvin had pretty decent coverage on him, but he beat Calvin to the ball and he took it to the house. So they went up 14-7, and that was the score at halftime. And Coach Will Banks challenged our kids at halftime to tell them, you know, what do we need to do? We need to correct this, and we need to correct that. And basically, we was gonna get the ball coming back the second half, and we got the ball back the second half, and things started clicking for us, and I think Christian might have took it in on the hard touchdown run there. That put us up, tied it up 14-14. Okay, then they went down to kick the field goal, made it 17-14. And then our offense really got to clicking. We went to the Wildcat. Same thing we used against Burns a couple years ago. They had no answer for the Wildcat. Christian Tech left, Christian Tech right. Then we put Majay Thompson back there, let him run it for a while. Nick Norris, they had no answer for our Wildcat. And this, as you can see, our big lineman got Nick Norris back there blocking, and we got 56, Woody.
12 Lane Wood.
And number 12, Lane Wood. And you can see our number 11 right there got a good seal block there, too. And the Johnson kid, that's number 12. And they had no solution for the Wildcat. And then we got the ball back, so Coach Wilbanks said, forget about it. We're going to go to the Wildcat. And we ran the Wildcat with the rest of the game. Never threw it. Ran it the rest of the game.
That made it 35-17 with 3 minutes left in the game. And then Olympic gets a late score with 32 seconds here left in the game with a big pass down into the corner.
That was great coverage right there by Stephon Jennings, but the guy was a little taller and a little bigger than he was. And
never found the ball there in the air.
Never found the ball. So he got good coverage because he's weakening this guy's hands, but it was just a great catch.
Yep. So Shelby wins 35-24. Did we ever get Jeff on Coach Jones on? Coach Jones, you there?
Yeah, I hope JP hadn't hung up on me again.
I think we've got it.
He said
now.
It was you, Coach.
Hey, that's
well, I called, and I said, "Well, I know you got Steve there, so you probably don't need to talk to me." And he said, "Well, if you want to talk." And so I thought, well, I guess that's why he hung up on me. So I called again, and he said, "Why did you hang up on me?" I said, "I didn't. You hung up on me." And so then he tells everybody on there, I keep hanging up. So anyway, it was
Coach Jones. I can't.
It was a really
Coach Jones,
nice,
I can't
really nice fourth quarter, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, Coach Jones, I can't even compete with you. So you the man, Coach Jones. I always love Coach Jones because when I was coaching football,
you're kind, but anyway,
he always told me
it was a great fourth quarter for Shelby.
He always say double the nose, no matter what. Will run up the middle, double the nose. I never forget that.
Yeah, well, it. We had that old saying, pull the wagon, and so the offensive line really did pull the wagon in the fourth quarter. But it was a really interesting ball game, and we felt that going in, one of the things that Shelby really needed to do was stop turning the ball over, and so they succeeded in that. The second thing they needed to do was get some turnovers. They succeeded in that, and I thought that Key was our defensive player of the game.
Right.
There were a lot of guys that could have been defensive players of the game, but Key's first interception, when he jumped that route and made that great interception, and then the second time, he kind of played center field, and sometimes those are the hardest ones to catch when it's just you and you're back there and he's coming down into your arms, and a lot of times you have a hard time catching those, but he did a nice job on coverage all night, I thought.
And also, Coach Jones, did you notice he's one of the little ones out there? He made a couple of great tackles too on defense, and he stopped him one time.
135 pounds, and he comes and hits you in the shins, and he makes good tackles.
Yeah, of course, I gotta also say that's my nephew, number 22.
Okay.
I tell him the size don't matter, it's just his heart. I tell him that all the time. So he plays hard with a lot of heart.
But he did a good job. I also felt it was kind of the Majay Thompson coming out party. He had a couple of really nice runs after the catch, and then did a good job, getting that touchdown in there from the one. And he made some good decisions. I thought Land Farmer had a nice game, even though he didn't play much in the fourth quarter because you were running the ball. But yet that really big play on 4th and 7. Down, and he made that perfect throw to get them down the inside the 10-yard line on 4th and 7, and he didn't turn the ball over. It was a clean game. So I thought Land Farmer did well, but of course our overall player of the game had to be Tristan Tate. At halftime, we had him down for 8 carries for 23 yards, and ended up with 25 carries for 168 yards. Pretty good second half.
That's the second half of work.
And
yeah,
if you ever see him, Coach, he kept doing like the Ezekiel tell me, feed him. The more he run, the more he's running, the more he's wanting to run it.
Coach, can you repeat those stats for your Player of the Week nominee?
Yeah, he had ended up with 25 carries, and I think it was 168 yards, 163 yards, something like that. So, and 140 some of that was in the second half.
And two touchdowns. Is that what you said? Is that right?
3 touchdowns actually.
Okay, 3 touchdowns.
He had one touchdown in the first half that tied it 14-14, and then he had 2 touchdowns in the second half. So 3 touchdowns.
All right, Coach. I appreciate that.
But it was like I say, Shelby needed to take care of business tonight, and it took to the fourth quarter to then finally take a lead. They were down 17-14, and they scored 21 straight and pretty much put it away. So nice win for Shelby.
Well, congratulations to the Lions, and got Soft part of your schedule coming up here next week. Obviously, you guys start off with a gauntlet, and then the state puts you in this situation. You got a little bit of a soft schedule. So you got at Cherville, Jefferson, Highland Tech, then a bye, then Bessemer City.
And we're hoping that Brent gets to come back to the country. I mean, he's out of the country right now, and we just keep hoping he's going to be able to sneak back in so he can be with us next week.
He had to do it once before. Let's see if he can do it again.
Well, this time he's in Canada, and they might be a little more vigilant as far as letting him back in. So we're hoping and praying that he'll be able to get back.
All right,
but he did listen to us tonight, so I was able to say we had somebody listening from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We don't generally get a lot of viewers and listeners from that area.
Well, I'm glad he could and got to listen to that. But I'm sure he's watching right now, unless he's in bed right now. I don't know what time it is.
I want to tell you one other thing. I was so happy to hear Robbie Root back on the air. We were Chip and I were making our way back from Charlotte and got to listen to Robbie talking the post game show, and then also got to hear him call in. So great to have Robbie back.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Coach.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, and y'all be good. Let's talk to you later.
All right. You have a good one. Good night.
All right. Bye.
Also, I was going to say that when you got to nominate Derek Key, like I said, he weighs 137 pounds soaking wet. And both our safeties, if you look him up, Jaden Anderson, he probably weighs 150 pounds. Number 6. Them two little guys would stick their face mask in there, and they would hit you. We call them J Money, number 6, J Money. Those guys will hit you. They don't mind coming up to the line of scrimmage. You know how you force?
Yep.
Them guys, they will come up and put the wood to you. So my hat's off to somebody that small who's not scared to get. Derek told me he wanted to try to get the interception record. You know, so I talked to Derek a lot. Like I said, he's my nephew, and also a long time ago he had his uncle Terrence Norris played for Shelby. Well, you might remember that back in 2004, I believe it was. He intercepted one Brevard in the end zone and ran it back 100-something yards for a touchdown. That was Derek's uncle. He also wore 22.
Well, so Steve, you have to watch out for them little guys. I had the privilege of coaching one guy that fit that same description named Charlie Harbison.
Charlie.
And he went on.
Only thing he ain't got the speed Charlie got.
No. Cheese. Can you say cheese?
Cheese. He ain't got the speed. Him and Herbert got it. But he got hard though. So
yeah.
And our secondary has been getting burnt a lot this year. So when they do their job, we need to give them some plug because they've been having a rough time.
They're small. The secondary is small for sure.
Yeah.
But they are, like you said, they be in position. It's just their size is getting right.
It's coming along, you know. Like Derek is only a junior, and then we have also Kevin Ramsell back there, and we use
Kevin's a senior this year.
Kevin's a junior. And then we have number 5. He's on the other side. He's a senior. So we got some good guys back there. We got a lot of good backups. So if we just can hold down the fort, we should be good. Now we're ready to go on that run.
I was about to say, next few weeks, guys, you got your practice in. You got at Cherville, home against Jefferson, home against Highland Tech. Then you got a bye at Bessemer City. I know you guys need 2 weeks to prepare for that one.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you don't give up any touchdown passes, Steve. Okay, no passes. Whatever you do, you talk to your D. I'm gonna come give a speech to your DBs.
Okay.
On that week because they you just talked about them. They need some help. So you got to shut them down.
So are you? How for sure are you that you're the only one with a touchdown?
100%.
100% sure you're the only
since 2001. I'm the last person to throw a touchdown against Shelby. And that was in 2000
for Bessemer City.
For Bessemer City, the last person to throw a touchdown for Bessemer City.
We'll try to keep your record intact.
I'm going to come speak to the DBs about it. Well, I got one record. They got to hold it up for me. I love them Shelby cornerbacks. That's my new favorite position group in the world.
Actually, we got 2 great defensive back coaches, and Van Eskridge.
Okay,
it's one and Larry Raper.
Van Eskridge is
yes, and Larry Raper's our other.
It's on y'all too.
Yes, he's the other defensive coach.
Van was a dog.
Listen, Steve. Larry. All honesty. I hope Bessemer beats y'all 127-3, but it's all running touchdowns.
And you just woke up.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Talk some more sports. Give you some more scores. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Oh,
You're
my
listening
Lord.
to The Boss, WHS, Shelby, North Carolina, your beach oldies and sports stations. Online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Good evening. Tonight's forecast, a chance for some showers early, then mostly cloudy overnight. Lows dip into the mid to upper 60s. We shouldn't see quite as much rain Saturday. A few showers, though, will be possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy. Highs are in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunday, it's mostly cloudy with a few showers possible again. Highs range from the mid 70s to about 80. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:09, and the temperature is 70 degrees.
What can they do at Butler's Tire and Auto Repair in Kings Mountain? How about everything? And I bet you didn't know they can even replace an engine. If you need engine replacement, they can do it. Hey, that's not all. I bet you didn't know they could even replace or build a transmission. And of course, they do tune-ups, oil changes, brake work, and yes, they sell tires at unbeatable prices, and they do North Carolina inspections too. All of this and more at Butler's Tire and Auto Repair, 205 East King Street in Kings Mountain, right across from KFC. Like them on Facebook too.
You'll love the food at Alley's Cafe in Shelby. Now serving breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday. You can enjoy their breakfast all day long and check out their daily lunch specials. It's special down-home cooking. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. You can dine in, take out, or curb service is available. Alley's Cafe provides employment and training opportunities for individuals with barriers to employment. Alley's Cafe, 891 North Post Road in Shelby. Call 704-487-7777 for orders to go. Like them on Facebook too.
Together, let's drive. And Marburger Chevrolet in Shelby is ready to ride. Right now, it's truck season. Get 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers on the 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 truck. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Coming in for all the details. Together, let's drive. Marburger Chevrolet, located at 200 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at marburgerchevy.net. Main Street Hardware in Lawndale is the #1 hardware store in this area. Right now, save big with Valspar Paint and Milwaukee Tools. Main Street Hardware also has a great selection of boots from Georgia Boot Company. And if it's a trimmer or blower you're looking for, they have a big selection from Red Max. It's time to aerate and seed your lawn. Go by and see Main Street Hardware, 356 East Main Street in Lawndale, or like them on Facebook too. Go Bulldogs from Main Street Hardware. Ram Power Days are underway at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. Power on with the strength of a new Ram truck. Now get $3,000 retail consumer cash allowance on most new 2025 Ram 1500 models. And now get $2,000 bonus cash allowance on the new 2024 Ram ProMaster models. Power on during Ram Power Days at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Finding your perfect floor starts at Floor in America in Kings Mountain. If you can dream it, they can do it at Floor in America. And come see their newly remodeled showroom. Select from up to 8 colors of waterproof LVP now in stock. And now financing is available at Floor in America. And they'll be more than happy to come out to your home offering free measurements. Now who does that? They do at Floor in America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain. Online at FloorInAmericaKingsMountain.com. Like them on Facebook too. Your perfect floor starts at Floor in America, Kings Mountain.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show with the entire ministry of KTC Broadcasting.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Chip Carter's going to join the show
short.
here in just a second to talk Cherryville Ironman football here. North Gaston won big last night up here in Cherryville, and Highland Tech 70-0 over Triangle. Jefferson 61-6 over Bonnie Cone.
Where's
And them two play each other
Triangle
next
from?
week, though.
Triangle is from Cary, North Carolina.
Good ride.
Yes.
70.
Yes, and at that point, some schools shouldn't have football programs.
I thought the girls did a real good job, though.
The ladies did. But we're going to turn over to Chip here. He's going to talk about this Cherryville Ironman game and where they're going next. They got the Golden Lions next week, of course, here. And then East
I heard
Gaston.
that's their homecoming game.
I do not know.
Can't be.
I do not
Surely
know.
they
Well,
didn't
they
do
don't
that.
play again at home until October 11th against Highland Tech. So Cherryville don't play. They've only got 2 more home games They got Shelby on the 20th. October 11th, the Rambling Wreck from Highland Tech, and then November 1st, they'll have the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. So I'll turn over here to Chip, give us a little synopsis about what happened last night in Cherryville.
what
Greetings,
happened
gentlemen.
last night in Cherryville, there?
Cherryville.
There was a little bit of a football game there for a little bit. First of all, congratulations, Coach. Got a chance to join Jeff Jones with Brent Pasco being deported, apparently, based on
he's the draft dog. He went to Canada.
Based on what Jeff shared with me and with us on the show earlier. But no, enjoyed watching Shelby pull out the win tonight. Glad y'all showed up in the fourth quarter. You're making me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I was making myself nervous until they figured out that they couldn't stop our Wildcat.
Yeah, that was impressive to watch. And I thought Farmer played a good game. It was a clean game. We talked about in the post game. I thought you hear this as a knock a lot of time, but I thought he was a very good game manager tonight, and the offense worked through him, and especially since it took so long for Tristan to really get going.
I like the fact that he was throwing us. Sometimes he was forcing them, but this game he'd roll out, nobody he'd throw it out of bounds. Or sometimes our receivers got to help him out too. So you don't always on the quarterback too. Right. You know, sometimes the receivers will touch it and then it'll bounce off and the defensive man catch, tip drill. So but Land he's our leader and he ain't scared to run it sometimes. We got a couple of first downs for us tonight and also scored that touchdown.
Oh, and he kind of kept everything afloat, kept the offense moving as best as could until, again, Tristan kind of got things going in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was impressive to watch. But going to looking at there you go. This is in the first half. That's just a straight wrap up tackle in the end zone. That was last night in Cherryville against North Gaston. I carried this joke way too long, but I said it was in the third inning. There was a 2-run home run, and Cherryville was leading 2-0.
What's that number? 50. Get that guy's number.
55.
55. Get his name.
Amir Starr. Yes, he's definitely been there. I would say so far in the first half of the year, he's been, or the early part of the year, he's been their defensive MVP. He's got been able to break through on quite a few tackles, and right there was able to break through for the safety. And he's impressive to watch. So and that was the only score of the first half. It was 2-0 going into halftime, and then kind of a combination of things. I think North Gaston was able to extend their drives in the second half, and right about the time they started to find their footing and extend their drives, right about the time that Cherryville's defense, which had been out there for a while, started to run out of gas.
Because do you know who North Gaston running back coach is?
It's Trey Harper.
Mr. Trey Harper.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. Now I heard you mentioning Charlie earlier. Is he related to Charlie?
Absolutely.
Brother.
Yeah.
Brother?
Uncle.
Uncle. Okay.
His uncle.
Okay. I figured.
We got a long line.
His father
all right. No more crest. We're talking about Cherryville.
His father is Suge Harper.
Well, where do you think your coach came from?
We're talking about North Gaston. Y'all already talk about crest.
Come
on, guys.
Hey, where did your Cherryville coach come from?
I know. I'm gonna mute the mic so we say crest.
Hey, he did it to Tom Saturday morning. He'll do it. But no, again, North Gaston just was able to move the ball down the field. You see a touchdown reception right there was impressive. They were able to move the ball on the ground and in the air, and they found their footing. And Brian Faria and I were both doing the broadcast, and it was just again it was right about the same time. And this was just an impressive play right here. Number 8 was able. He unfortunately just faked out the defensive back. Thought he was going to go to the back corner. Defensive back kind of shaded that way, and then he just cut in towards the goalpost. And by the time the defensive back had his footing, it was too late. It was just an open pass right there. Yeah. So North Gaston pulled out the win. Final score, making sure. Sorry, I've slept since then. I watched another football game, so I got to make sure I got the final score right. 35-2 ended up being the final score. Saw some promise. The defense really tried to keep Cherryville in it in the first half. You saw them really get determined and trying to not let North Gaston get a lot of momentum. So you saw that for a half, and really even going to the third quarter, the start of the second half, Cherryville's defense just continued to play tough. But they, again, as the drives ended up, North Gaston staying on the field, their offense staying on the field longer, and Cherryville's defense having to stay on the field longer. They just didn't have the zip to keep up with them.
But North Gaston's defense is going to be tough anyway because their coach Darryl Wilson, he's He's the defensive coach. He's the defensive minded coach.
Well,
so we're gonna try to play.
Where'd he come from?
I don't. Kings Mountain.
But
last year, where did he come from?
We ain't finna say that anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Coach Wilson, if you're listening, good job.
Pulling your leg, Steve. Pulling your leg.
But no, but yeah, is Cherville's they have got, and Brian and I talked about it in the post game. They are still, I think, trying to figure out. They've got a lot of guys that have stepped up. Jackson Hebner's a good example of this. Tavius McElhaney is a good example to try to complement what they started the season with, so to speak, on the offensive end, with Andron Patterson, Rayshawn Sewell. They really and I think they were trying to figure out. Hebner had some really big chunk plays against Blacksburg. He was really the bright spot for them offensively 2 weeks ago, and I think they wanted to utilize him. He kind of set himself up to be the primary back for them when he running against in Blacksburg. So I think they were really trying to set him up with Patterson. Yesterday, we saw a lot of read options between the two of them. But it was almost like it was a new concept between the two of them because there was a lot of indecision. By the time the decision was made, North Gaston was already in the backfield, and also there were a lot of fumbles with the exchange or trying to figure out who was going to go with it. So
and one other thing too, you got to remember.
Yes, sir.
Those two guys, it was coaching against each other. They coached with each other last year.
Yeah.
So one of them gonna know what the other one does.
Right.
So Coach Wilson gonna know.
You saw that a lot in the first half.
Right, yeah, because they're gonna know what their tendencies are. So that was one advantage that Coach Wilson had over.
Yeah. So again, I think you're seeing, and I touched on this 2 weeks ago, guys that were really stepping up, trying to show that they want to play a bigger role as a skill player in Cherville's offense. Those guys are there, and I think right now the coaching staff's just trying to kind of process and wrap in their head about how are we best going to utilize all these guys, because it can't be what we've seen so far early in the season. It can't be the Andron Patterson show all every game, because defenses are just going to key in on him. And the young man, he's a phenomenal athlete, good two-way quarterback. He's got the arm. He can stretch it. He can stretch it down the field. He uses his legs really well. Primarily, that's his primary weapon. And I'll be honest with you, his best weapon last night, especially in the first quarter that helped the defense, was his leg. He's also their punter. And his leg, he flipped the field a couple of times in the first half yesterday that really put North Gaston up against backed them into a corner and took the pressure off of the Cherville defense. So kudos to him. That's part of the reason we named Patterson as the overall player of the game, is because of his impact, not just offensively, but also with his leg as well. So I think if they can continue to find ways to ways to creatively use Hebner, use Sewell. I know towards the end of the game, by this point, it was pretty much the final was, or there was no doubt as to what the final was going to be. But they moved Hebner out of the backfield and put him into a receiver position, and you knew they were going to pass. They wanted him to try to get the ball into open space. Once he's got some room to accelerate, Hebner can yards after the catch, or really can extend a running play. I think they're trying to utilize that and see what they can do. Sewell's also similar to that. I'm not a coach. I'm not a football coach. I don't claim to be a football coach, but I will tell you, Sewell throwing the ball 2 weeks ago when Patterson didn't play in the second half, he's got an arm. They ought to incorporate that a little more consistently. Use a halfback pass, or use even a reverse receiver pass. They did it the very first play of the game against Blacksburg 2 weeks ago. That's what they did, and it almost turned into a touchdown. So Javarius McElhaney is another one, like I said, that they can utilize. Najee Whitworth he's shown himself to be a good athlete. He was injured 2 weeks ago, didn't play against Blacksburg, was back on the field yesterday. I don't know. Brian and I both didn't think he was 100%. This is the kid that took the opening kickoff of their season, almost took it all the way back for a touchdown, and led to Cherville's first score of the year, and also had 2 interceptions in the first half against Avery County, including a pick 6 that ended up being the difference in the game. He's got the athletic ability. He didn't quite seem like he had that quick accelerating first step that we saw that first week. So wondering if he's still not quite 100%. Weston Bowers offers a good complement to. He's a little bit of the thunder to Hefner and Sewell's lightning, so to speak. Kind of number 6 for y'all. Norris.
Number 6 for Shelby.
For Shelby.
Jay, talking about our defensive back.
No, I'm sorry, not 6. Who your big running back who gives
0?
No, not
number 4.
Yeah,
Norris.
Norris, yes, he's a good.
Nick Norris.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I couldn't remember Nick's first name, but we saw him pounding in the middle tonight. It was a great compliment to Tristan in the second half. I think you could see that they've got some of the pieces to try to utilize that with Cherryville. Obviously, they're going to have their hands full next week, and we know that. And I saw it firsthand this evening. Once Tristan gets going, and like you said. The more he gets the ball, the more he wants the ball, and it's fun. He's fun to watch. Land again played a good game. That was impressive to watch this, and I loved how the guys they kept their head about him. And right about the time that Olympic really started to lose their cool, and especially their starting quarterback, he really you can almost see the momentum for Shelby as it picked up. He got really disgruntled. You could see it on, and y'all obviously you're on the other side, but from the home sideline, his coaches were having to get him in check and trying to get him back focused on the game.
So they started taking their time like they was no hurry. But to get back on this Cherryville wagon, that Patterson kid, I think this is his first year playing quarterback too. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take
at least on a full-time basis, I believe. Yeah.
Right. So
and again, just, as we said last night, for the folks in Cherryville, keep your heads up. It's first year coach now, establishing his culture. He's building something. I will, and I said it in the post game last night. I will continue to beat this comparison to death all season long. And y'all have talked about it already. What East Rutherford's been able to do in 3 years. You talked. Coach Russ called in yesterday during or earlier for the pregame, and what he's been able to accomplish. Keep your heads up. It's not something that's going to have to take 5 to 10 years. If you get the gentlemen, if you get the young men who will get buy-in, who will believe in what the coach is trying to sell, to get the community behind it to support it. That's been the biggest thing I think one of the biggest things Philip's done that's so impressive. It's not just the players. He's not just teaching schemes and strategy. He's got community buy-in. I watched it firsthand doing some of the broadcasts with Rutherford County last year, and North Lincoln that's no slouch, especially this year. That's no slouch of a team.
That's a monster.
Yeah. I mean that's there's nothing to be ashamed about with and it hurts because it's a one point game and you want to pull that out. But
how did they go for 2? I seen this.
Cherryville ended up going for 2.
I'm saying getting back to North Lincoln and East Rutherford.
North Lincoln missed their 2 points.
Yes,
no, it was 56.
I mean. East Rutherford missed.
Did they go for 2?
Both teams did on their last drives. East Rutherford converted theirs, but there was a penalty on theirs, and so they got pulled. I think it was a clip or a block in the back, something like that. And I can't remember what Richard said.
Crackback block.
But a chop block. Maybe it was a chop block.
That's
but
exactly
so they weren't able to convert their 2-point conversion, but they still had the lead. But North Lincoln marched down, scored, and they converted their 2-point conversion for the 1-point win. So it was. But for the Cherryville folks, again, we just use that as an example that get behind the coaching staff, get behind these young men. They're trying to build something. Again, they're going to have their hands full next week. We know that. I'm going to have my hands full next week too. I'm probably going to be in the hospital with my wife. She's delivering our 5th kid. So, so
5 is a good number.
We've got our. I don't know what's causing it. I can't figure it out. No, we've got our starting 5. We're done. But no, appreciate y'all. And
I'm not going to say anything here, but
but
we'll talk after the show's over, Chip.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what all of y'all have said as well, especially, and I appreciate Jeff mentioning this too. Robbie Root, brother, it was great to hear you. I was glad to hear you back on the air. Absolutely. So that was awesome. Big shout out. I don't even know if he heard it last night because I think he's got so many things on his plate. But I told Brian, we started giving out our post game awards and everything. And I told Brian during the break, I said, leave the sub of the game to me. And so I gave the sub of the game to Kevin because I stuck in traffic in Charlotte last night. And so he came over bundled up some equipment really quick, ran over to Rudisell Stadium, got everything hooked up, and got Brian and him going. And he subbed in and did the pregame show for me last night. So Kevin got the sub of the game for the game last night. But no, appreciate it. Looking forward to. Hopefully, again, more than likely, I'm probably going to be out of commission next weekend. But looking forward. Hope Shelby and Cherryville put on a good show for everybody, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way.
All right, real quick, start there, Chip. For the folks listening, we're going to be giving away our numbers, bookkeeping player of the game. We're going to vote right now. We're going to take a break, and we're going to get player of the week. We're going to vote. We'll give you more information on that in just a minute. We'll let Chip read the scores. When we come back, we'll have the numbers, bookkeeping, Cleveland County player of the week.
All right, run down the scores here real quick. Looking at Charlotte Catholic Cougars lose to Crest 27-21. Welcome back, Robbie Root. East Lincoln defeats Forest View 52-26. South Point over High Brighton 30-14. Maiden defeats St. Stephen's 29-6. Ashbrook wins big over East Gaston 50-7. Hickory wins big. Can somebody stop them, please? Hickory defeats Cox Mill 16.
East Lincoln that in a couple of weeks.
69-28. Gaffney blanks Freedom 31-0. Watauga 48. AC Reynolds 21. Thank you for beating AC Reynolds. Tuscola defeats Swain County 42-8. Clyde A. Irwin 27, West Henderson 21. I'm not at all biased on that one. We don't have a final. The last score update we have East Henderson 9 over Owen 9-0. West Iredell defeats West Wilkes in the Battle of the West 37-22.
You know you're the only one that knows that whole name of that school.
I know that. That's why I'm announcing. Well, y'all can't even get TC Roberson. It's not Roberson. It's Robertson, right? But anyway, moving on. Terry and Tom be upset with me right now. I'm running down all these myself. Burns defeats Alexander Central 28-7.
Hold on. How you spell robber?
Right. There's two B's.
How you spell robber?
There's two B's. I'm just telling you.
It don't have a T in it. It's Roberson.
It's not Robertson. It's Roberson.
Roberson.
Now spell robe. R-O-B-E.
E-R.
So robe, and then you got an and then a son. It's Roberson.
I'm telling.
The two B's is Robertson. We're just trying to figure out our English over here, and I know English is hard. I teach it to my kids, and you got the there, and where, and all that stuff.
Hey, Chip.
But you ain't gonna convince me that's Robertson.
I grew up in the county, guys. Hey, we're from the mountains. We don't know how to pronounce things anyway, all right?
Just like another Yankee come down here and try to tell us how to pronounce things.
It's like Cherylville and Cherylville.
That's right. Ruffton. Let me finish these scores. Let me finish these scores real quick. Burns defeats Alexander Central 28-7. Thank you for the cameo, Kevin.
Hey, we do scores here at night too.
Shelby defeats Olympic 35-24. Chesney squeaks out a win over RS Central 28-24. Chase defeats Drawn 34-28. North Lincoln, a 1-point victory over East Henderson in our high score of the night, our combined high score of the night, 56-55. Bandy's over South Caldwell 35-6. Forest Hills defeats Community School of Davidson 36-7. Brevard defeats North Buncombe 56-14. Monroe shuts out East Mex 63-0. Surrey Central keeps Elkin from scoring a touchdown 33-3. Mountain Heritage defeats Hendersonville 42-7. Lake Norman Charter 27. Pine Lake Prep 7. Last row, North Gaston 35. Cherryville Ironman 2. Union County Cardinals defeat Bessemer City 20-10. Thomas Jefferson 61-6 over Bonnie Cone. That's what get for Bonnie Coon not wanting to support football at UNC Charlotte. Highland Tech shuts out Triangle 70-0. Hey, Tom Cinefani told me that. All right, North Iredell defeats Mountain Island Raptors 21-7. McDowell 49, Avery 21. Mitchell with a 1-point win over Andrews 35-34. Mount Airy shuts out Ashe County 42-0. Tuscola wins big over Swain County 42-8. Murphy over Smoky Mountain 22-14. Pisgah shuts out Hayesville 30-0. And East Wilkes defeats Wilkes Central 22-17. We'll take the poll. And we'll be back with our Cleveland County Player of the Night in just a moment.
Good evening. Tonight's forecast, a chance for some showers early, then mostly cloudy overnight. Lows dip into the mid to upper 60s. We shouldn't see quite as much rain Saturday. A few showers, though, will be possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy. Highs are in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunday, it's mostly cloudy with a few showers possible again. Highs range from the mid 70s to about 80. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:32, and the temperature is 70 degrees.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I would invite you to join myself along with Pat Rooney and Jeffrey the Pie Owens for 2 big days of our radio remote broadcast during the grand opening of Home Outlet Kitchens, Baths, Floors, and more in Gastonia. It'll be Friday, September 13th from 1 to 4 p.m., and then we'll be back Saturday, September 14th from 10 till 3. We'll have free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Plus, register to win some great prizes, too, including tickets to the Renaissance Festival, the Southern Christmas Show, and the Cleveland County Fair. Plus, Large Marge, a pink Cadillac, will be there, along with a Floppy Man. And during this special event, save 20% on your fall projects. Store-wide savings on quality kitchens, baths, floors, and more. For more information, go to homeoutlet.com. Don't miss it. The grand opening September 12th through the 14th, and our radio remote broadcast Friday and Saturday, September 13th and 14th at Home Outlet Kitchen, Baths, Floors, and more. Located at 1495 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Hey, y'all come. It'll be fun. Kendall Ford in Gastonia announces a 3rd annual Custom Car Cruise-In. It's bigger and better and set for Saturday, October 5th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. There will be free sun drop, hot dogs, popcorn, music, and prizes. Kendall Ford is celebrating their 50th year in Gaston County, and this is a 50s-themed Custom Car Cruise-In with over 300 custom cars on display. All makes, all models. For more information, call 704-857-8341 or go online at TyndallFord.com. Tyndall Ford, 1901 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, celebrating 50 years in Gaston County. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases loaded, and 2 strikes. Now, that's a tough situation for any team. And not having your taxes done properly is a problem for you, too. That's when you call on Kimberly Spicer, CPA and public attorney. She has the team you can count on. She can assist you with your small business and your tax preparation. In Shelby, call 704-482-4358, and in Forest City, 828-245-8351. Kimberly Spicer, CPA and attorney, 214 North Morgan Street in Shelby and 118 East Main Street, Forest City. And Kimberly Spicer takes his time to salute the Cleveland County Fair on its 100th anniversary. Have you been injured in a car accident? Well, make an appointment with Heather Ellison and her staff at Carolina Physicians of the Carolinas. They've been voted the best of Cleveland County for the past 7 years. And when you go, you'll see why. If you're experiencing neck pain, constant headaches, back pain, sciatica, scoliosis, or any other annoying pain, call Chiropractic Physicians today. They will provide exceptional chiropractic care with the intent to provide optimal health and help you enjoy a pain-free life. Call today at 704-406-9939. Open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 8:30 to 6, Wednesday, 8:30 to 12, and Friday by appointment only. Chiropractic Physicians of the Carolinas, like them on Facebook, too.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with What'sUpShopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss.
And we're back on KTC Broadcasting with the ministry of KTC, which would be the Reverend Dennis Davis, the Deacon Will Boykins, the Usher Steve DeGree, the Bishop Chip Carter, Kevin Hastings, Youth Minister, and JP, AV Coordinator. Can I get a clap for that?
Well done.
He got it right.
Well
Good
done.
song. Yay.
Well done.
Can I promote Chip? He can't be Pope yet, but we'll make him a cardinal.
You gonna make him a
Cardinal Chip Carter.
There we go. I figured the Cardinal was coming.
I appreciate
Definitely ain't no Pope.
Thank you. Dan. I appreciate it. Easy now. Come on. No.
He can't be a Pope. He got a wife and 5 kids.
Well, that's true.
Chip knows history, so I'm not going to point out, that Borgia was a Pope, and we'll just leave it at that.
Good gracious! No, we've got some counting to do down in Florida. It looks like we're going to have to get the Supreme Court involved on this vote here. So Kevin's tabulating some votes for us right now. And
we got some hanging chads on votes.
Yeah, we got a recount right now.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's hanging chips.
It's probably some people that heard that that's going to.
We got some absentee ballots.
We have somebody. One of the candidates already has their legal team saying it's not a valid election.
I think they're getting mail-in ballots to decide this.
Yes.
Anyways, we're going to run down the scoreboard one more time real quick. Do y'all want me to do this? Do y'all want to share the wealth, or what's that? I mean,
however you want to do it. If you want to run it down yourself, or you want to share the wealth.
We'll run down. I'll run it down real quick and have Terry and Tom make fun of me because I'm doing the whole thing. Because they gave me a hard time because I did that a couple weeks ago. Crest Chargers defeat Charlotte Catholic 27-21. Well done, Crest. Once again, welcome back, Robbie Roop. You and Paul sounded awesome. East Lincoln defeats Forest View 52-26. South Point 30, High Brighton 14. Maiden 29, St. Stephen's 6. Ashbrook wins big over East Gaston 50-7. Hickory Red Tornadoes 69, Cox Mill 28. Gaffney shuts out Freedom 31-0. Watauga over AC Reynolds in my happy game of the night, 48-20. Well, one of my two happy games of the night, 48-21. Tuscola defeats Swain, 42-8. The other happy game of the night, my alma mater, Irwin defeats West Henderson, 27-21.
Say the whole name again.
Clyde A. Irwin. Not Asheville Irwin when they qualify for the playoffs, and all y'all down here call him Asheville Irwin. No, that'd be like saying Shelby Crest.
Oh, I hated that. Oh my God!
Anyways,
Why would you say Shelby Crest?
We don't have a final. Last update, we have East Henderson over Owen 9-0. West Iredale defeats West Wilkes 37-22. Burns over Alexander Central 28-7. Shelby Golden Lions defeat Olympic 35-24. Big fourth quarter. Congratulations, Shelby. Chesney squeaks out a win over RS Central 28-24. Chase over Drawn 34-28. North Lincoln 1-point win in a high-scoring game against East Rutherford 56-55. Bandy's over South Caldwell 35-6. Forest Hills over Community School of Davison 36-7. Brevard defeats North Buncombe 56-14. Monroe shuts out East Meck 63-0. Surrey Central 33. Elkin 3. Mountain Heritage 42, Hendersonville 7. Lake Norman Charter defeats Pine Lake Prep 27-7. Excuse me, I got to go back. Surrey Central defeats the Elkin Bucking Elks 33-3. Got to get that out there. North Gaston defeats Cherryville 35-2. Union County Cardinals over Bessemer City 20-10. Thomas Jefferson 61, Bonnie Cone 6. Highland Tech 3-0. Highland Tech shuts out Triangle 70-0. North Iredale over Mountain Island Raptors 21-7. McDowell over Avery County 49-21. Mitchell squeaks out a 1-point win over Andrews 35-34. Mount Airy shuts out Ashe County 42-0. Tuscola over Swain 42-8. Murphy 22, Smoky Mountain 14, Pisgah 30, Hayesville 0. And East Wilkes defeats Wilkes Central 22-17. Kevin, take over, please.
Did it. That's all, folks. Cardinals must have won tonight.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Kevin Hastings again. All right, so we got our numbers bookkeeping.
Oh yeah,
of Shelby.
Oh
numbers
yeah.
bookkeeping and tax service 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Did you fix the hanging Chad?
Player of the week. We did have some absentee ballots.
I demand a recount.
I talked to some illegal voters, and we've got the votes are in. Noah K at Numbers Bookkeeping is sponsoring a Cleveland County Player of the Week. Announcers from each game nominate their Players of the Week in their post-game shows, and we're going to put them together, and we'll have our Players of the Week nominations here for you folks every week from Cleveland County. We need a Kings Mountain person to nominate the Kings Mountain Player of the Week. They didn't play this week, of course, but we do need a Kings Mountain nominee every week. Let's see. At the end of the year, we'll name a Player of the Year, and that Player of the Year will be presented a $250 scholarship. All right, nominees tonight. I have my notes over here. Max Davis of Burns, 48 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, 11 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble for the Burns Bulldogs in their 28-7 victory over 4A Alexander Central. The next nominee is Tristan Tate of Shelby. I've got his numbers down somewhere. Was it $135 and 3 touchdowns? 168.
168. 3 touchdowns.
168, 3 touchdowns. Tristan Tate for Shelby, 25 carries against Olympic. And that's nominee number 2. Nominee number 3 is, I just clicked off of it. Turner McSwain, Crest quarterback, went 15 of 18 tonight. 236 yards, a rush, and touchdown. That touchdown was the winning score for the Chargers. And after all the votes are in, the absentee ballots, the absentee voters, and everything else, the winner of this week's Numbers Bookkeeping Player of the Week, Crest Chargers, Turner McSwain, 15 of 18, 236, and a rushing touchdown, the winning touchdown against Charlotte Catholic Cougars. I want to pat Tristan Tate on the back, pat Max Davis on the back. You two led your teams tonight to big, big victories over 4A high schools. How about Cleveland County tonight going 3-0 against 4A high schools in the area? Olympic, Charlotte Catholic, and Alexander Central all go down to 2 and 3A Cleveland County schools.
Well, if you want to think about it, the McSwain kid only had 1 pass drop because I think he threw 2 interceptions. Didn't he?
Was it? I'm not sure.
So only one of his passes.
They don't count.
Interceptions
don't count as a completed pass.
Since he's gonna be the player of the year, we'll just say he's 17, 18 then.
Yeah, it should.
I do.
Hey, as a quarterback, I'll make that argument.
Yes.
It was caught.
It's right.
Completion percentage.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Hey, listen, I'm just going by what Bryce Young told me.
Well, if you score 2 points accidentally in a basketball game on the other bucket, you still get the 2 points.
No,
it just goes on the other team's score. But you still get 2 points. Do you give it to the closest guy?
It gets there. And the closest guy gets the point.
I thought about that. As soon as you said that, I was like, no, that's not right.
Just like a sack. It's like a guy falling in the end zone for a safety.
Yeah.
Closest man to him get them 2 points.
Well, didn't work out like I thought it would. All right, so there's your final scores tonight, guys. We got to get out of here in just a minute. Next week's schedule. Let's go over that. Let's see. KTC Broadcasting. We'll have Hendersonville at RS Central. Shelby at Cherville will be on the broadcast. Statesville at North Lincoln. Burns at Highland Tech. Ashbrook at Crest. And we'll have live YouTube video coverage of Chip's face in the delivery room.
His wife will not allow video in the delivery room.
Chip said it ain't gonna happen.
It's just going to be Chip's face during the broadcast. His
said
reaction.
Chip said it ain't gonna happen.
Listen, he's already done this 4 times. He's eating pizza during
He
this
good.
one. He's playing the PlayStation during this one. He ain't worried about it. She's got it. She's had plenty of practice.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll go.
Hey, Ken, this is like a Jim Gaffigan joke. I mean, there was so much screaming going on, I actually woke up. Somebody scored a touchdown? Oh, you're having another baby?
Can you give us a play-by-play, Chip, when you call in later?
That's what we need.
Yeah.
All right, so we need the highlights of that.
I just hope it's healthy, whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Congratulations to everybody.
Congratulations.
And when he grow up, make him a golden lion.
A golden line. A golden line. He says he lives in the Crest District, Steve. Y'all gonna have to do some recruiting.
Well, they do it. We might as well.
Sir.
I wish I had y'all's faces on it.
Hey, 12 was wearing green and gold last year. I just want to remind you
Who's that?
12 was wearing green and gold last year. I just want to remind you that. So
Okay.
don't pull your recruiting card
Now,
out.
Steve.
Now he moved.
Now, Steve. I was listening to their broadcast tonight, and I heard this was one of the exact words I listened. Another transfer from Chase.
2 of them. the one that threw the pass and the one that caught it.
And I remember listening to Shelby in the playoffs.
I don't mean no home.
I know I heard that tonight. Another
y'all can
player
call it
from Chase.
recruiting, but we just growing grass at Crest.
That's what it is.
Hey,
Y'all money longer.
Steve,
growing grass.
I remember one year listening to y'all in the playoffs, and the former Crest quarterback threw the ball to another former Crest quarterback. So don't talk to me about recruiting.
Just Steve's face.
That's been a few years. I can call names.
Them can of words. Y'all ain't have to say anything about recruiting.
Listen, kids, if you want some playing time, go to Bessemer or Cherville. I mean, why would you sit? Why would you sit on the bench?
If you want some playing time, go where?
Anywhere, but like I wouldn't play for. I'm just saying.
You would play for Bessemer
I would
City.
rather play than sit on the bench for somebody.
You would rather play than sit on the
Correct. I would rather play
It's-
for
it's
a
a-
losing program than sit on the bench for a winning
But
program.
it's one kid transferred from. He left our program this year and went to another school because he played receiver, and we got like 10 receivers.
Yeah.
So in that situation,
Good for him.
In that situation, you can't hardly blame the kid's father because this young man, he's gonna be a good receiver.
Well, I feel
But
that
we
way.
but we got 10.
I
so-
feel that way about quarterback, Steve. Like, if you're not a fit in your school, like you go to South Point and I can throw the ball 75 yards. Why should I be at this
why
school?
am I going to shot?
Right.
You understand? Why should I be at this school?
Hey, we'll make example of M.A. Little John. Went played for Shelby. He played behind Dalen, and our offense didn't really suit him what his strength was.
Right.
So I was mad at first when they transferred to Kings Mountain, but then I got to looking at the situation. Look at this man, this young man. Now you get an opportunity to shine. You know?
Correct.
And won himself a scholarship, and now he's playing for Johnson C. Smith.
All right.
So sometimes it works out good for the kids.
It does.
Any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here? Got to move. Any final thoughts, Steve?
I wonder what the score going to be. But don't Highland Tech play
Burns next week.
Oh, I thought the Thomas Jefferson. I thought they played.
I'm gonna make a strong prediction here. Highland Tech performs well, but they fall short by 21.
Okay.
Are you saying that their streak ends next week? Will?
Who they play?
Burns.
Oh. Who do Thomas Jefferson play?
I don't know who they play next week. Jefferson and Highland Tech play the next last week.
Corn talk over here saying they're not even going to score.
From a legal standpoint, Steve, one young man in North Carolina, a high school athlete, has sued wanting his share of the NIL money of which high school athletes in North Carolina public schools are ineligible for. But if you play private school,
He's in Charlotte.
you can get paid.
Yes.
Ask the guys
We ain't gotta
down
worry
at your old.
Yeah, we ain't got to worry about him no more.
Yeah.
Reedsville.
You ain't got to worry about him this year.
Reedsville.
He might not be out of the wheel just yet, fellas. We'll watch that situation melt out.
Well, he's not at Reedsville right now.
Mm-mm.
You talk about getting it to Tennessee, but we'll be back. We'll talk about that. We got more tomorrow, Saturday morning sports talk, college football, NFL, Major League Baseball, and more. Thanks, everybody, for listening tonight. All of our broadcast again next week. Got a lot of stuff. Check in on Facebook and Twitter. I ain't reading it. JP started playing the music, so that's a good idea.
I'm actually going to be going to watch Shell Gas play tomorrow, Lenore Ryan. So, Shell, if you're listening, I'll be up to tomorrow, son, to watch you play.
All right, we'll be giving away Tar Heel tickets in the morning for tomorrow night's game at against North Carolina Central. 6 o'clock, we'll be giving away tickets in the morning. Stay tuned, 8 to 10, giving away Tar Heel tickets.